And welcome, everybody, to today's exciting episode.
Skinner said the teachers will crack any minute. Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Oh, man, what episode is that from?
It's where they're doing Chinese whispers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher. Good old Simpsons.
Good old Simpsons. It always never fails to have a good quote for Josh's intro.
Yeah, it's my go-to. There's actually memes about adults using Simpsons quotes. That's how popular it is.
Yeah. I think the one that I always see is Homer sinking back into the hedge, but that you can't really recreate that in audio form, can you?
No, you can't. Unless you want to get your video editing skills out.
Well, I can do that, but the audio listeners don't really benefit from it.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, unless they use their imagination or Braille or something like that.
Oh,
Braille on a podcast. How would that work?
They wouldn't need to, would they? Because blind people can still hear.
Well, yeah, there is that, yeah.
Unless you're Helen Keller and you can't hear or see.
Well, that is a sorry state to be in, though, isn't it?
Kill me now.
Yeah, I can't imagine life without either of those two senses. I mean, I'm half deaf anyway. It's amazing that I'm able to even do a podcast. But yeah, because I've got really good vision, I can't imagine life without that as well.
Yeah, it's like the Metallica song One about the guy who was trapped in his own mind, wasn't it? He was in the hospital. And he could hear everything going on, but he couldn't move.
Yeah, like being in a coma or whatever.
Yeah, that would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
If it was me, pull the plug. But everyone's different.
Everyone is different. I guess Stephen Hawking was kind of in that situation. Well, he could see and he could hear and everything, but he just couldn't do anything, could he?
I wonder.
That's the other end of the scale, isn't it? Where you're perfectly able-bodied, but you can't see and hear. Or if you can see and hear and you got perfect ability in your mind, but you can't actually get up and move about. And
didn't stop him from having an affair though, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Didn't stop him going into space. Didn't stop him from allegedly joining satanic clubs and stuff like that.
Epstein's Island.
Yeah. How did we get on to this subject? Literally only 3 minutes in.
Yeah, 3 minutes in and we're ripping Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, sorry, Stephen. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about him anymore after hearing he went to Epstein Island and things. And
unconfirmed until we got the list.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've
seen a picture. Has the list been? I've
seen a picture of him with Epstein on his island. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, good grief!
I'm pretty sure. But then there's a few people that have gone to Epstein Island. It doesn't mean they did anything. Who knows? That's the thing. And I've said this before. Until the government give us the list, the Epstein list, I'm not trusting anything that comes out from the US
I still
government.
don't trust that. To be honest, so if the government are handing out information, it will be severely edited. I would imagine that the people they want to appear on it will be on there, and everybody else will be deleted.
Probably.
We'll throw in this guy as well. We don't like him. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. We live in a time now where you got to take everything with a pinch of salt, haven't you?
You do, yeah.
Otherwise, you just go crazy.
I mean, if we could get the unedited flight records, maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe that would be something to believe in. But
give us the answers, Bill. Give us the answers.
Bill?
He knows. Yes. A former president.
Oh, well, he would know, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the current president that's the one that's going to release it, if it gets released.
Yes. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, here we are again. It's that time of the week. Your favourite time. My favourite time. Their favourite time.
Podcasting time.
Tremendous, great time. Tune in.
Tune in, yes, for the podcast. And this podcast is one that I've wanted to do for a couple of months, I would say, since I first heard of it. Since anybody first heard of it, to be fair.
2 months.
2 meses.
Yes.
Yes.
See.
But yeah, I kind of had to hold on to it for a little while and see how it developed and how it grew.
Like a flower.
Kind of like a flower, or like an ongoing story.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We'll go in that analogy.
Which is what it was. Let me clear it up, right? There was a couple of months ago, a woman from America released a video on TikTok that I wouldn't. It kind of went viral. It didn't get millions of views, but I think if you look on there now, it's probably the first video at least is probably up in a couple of 100,000 views, something like that. Where she admitted to using a Ouija board with a partner years and years ago and getting in contact with an entity that called itself Seven.
Yes, I've heard of this.
You have heard of it, yeah?
Yes.
I've been studying it closely, following it closely. And I think it's about time, before time runs out, that we cover it.
Yes, it's been all over TikTok as well.
It has, yeah. Like I said, I'm hoping that we've hit this at the right time, because as far as her TikTok story is concerned, it's kind of over. She's gone through everything, all the information that she's got to give, and she's now put it out there and gone, there you go, that's my story. You let me know what you think. If you want me to ask any more questions of Seven, I will do that. But in a nutshell, her part of it is kind of finished with her putting out these videos and spreading the word about it. Some people have screamed that it's a hoax. Some people have said she's lying or whatever. Because I mean, we don't actually see any Ouija board work on it, but that's how she claimed to have come in contact with this entity. Some people are just saying it's an elaborate story, but it comes up with a fairly bold prediction with some statements within it. For anybody that hasn't seen the video, I'm going to be covering all the major points, but it's going to come to a head on the 27th of May this year, 2025.
Okay. You've been on a prediction thing lately.
Kind of, yeah. Well, the thing is, this story also ties together some of the other recent episodes that we've done. And I'll explain that as we go through it. Okay, but basically it was a long time ago, like, what was it, 12 years ago, I think, when this first started, 2013. I've got the transcripts of everything.
It's been going that long?
Yeah. Well, she just noted down, like I say, it was July the 5th in 2013 that she first made contact with this entity. Wrote down their or most of their questions and Seven's responses, which she then typed up into a transcript and put it onto a Google Drive. When she came on TikTok for the first time, she was like, "Oh, I've got this on my Google Drive, I can make it available." Then she decided not to just make it available to everybody. Okay. She would actually go through the transcript, and if you look on her TikTok, I believe she is called SaveSe7en, but 7 rather than a V has got the actual letter 7.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. That her original name I think was Cassiopeia or something like that, and she changed it to SaveSe7en because it made more sense and more people could find it easier.
Yeah.
But she, to start with, she was going to open the Google Drive up. Then after the amount of responses she got, probably thousands of responses, thousands of trolls and whatnot as well, she thought it wasn't a good idea. So she went through it over a course of, I think, about 13 videos, going through the entire Google Drive transcript, explaining what was going on in it. Go and take a look at that if you want the full version of it, because I'm not going to be reading through the whole thing in this episode, but there is plenty there to take from it. If you want to join the cause and try and figure out what is going on with this, then that's obviously a good place to go from here after you've listened to this podcast. And don't stop listening to this podcast. You're going view that, because that would be missing out on our take on it, or at least my take on it. But yeah, I'd like to say it gets quite dramatic fairly fast, and then it kind of peters out to where a lot of what it was coming through was kind of gobbledygook, garbage sort of, and a lot of like poetry and stuff that didn't really make sense.
Oh, that's all right. I like poetry.
Maybe some other people will make sense of the poetry. They'll know where it comes from, and what kind of translation to make from that.
Okay.
But do you want me to start from the start?
No, start from the end and work backwards.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, start from the start.
I kind of the thing is the way you say that, but from the start they get this response saying hello there, and they're like, hello, what's your name? And it says 7. That's an interesting name. Is it your nickname? No, it's my name. And they say, are you good? And it says yes. They say, are you lying? It says no. They say, when were you born? It says Nrobton.
Okay, all right.
So it's starting at the end, because it's written backwards. It says not born, but written backwards. Okay?
Already, I am getting confused.
I know. I knew I was going to do this to you.
Oh,
And then its next message is on her trib,
oh yeah,
which
yeah.
is birth no. And then it says Doogsy dog, which backwards is God is good. Okay?
Right. Hang on, so 7 isn't born yet.
No. Then it says
Right.
Devil Revan, but backwards that says never lived.
Okay.
Okay, shall I just read these in forwards, because most of this conversation is backwards at this point.
Oh please, yes.
It says
If
fire,
you could read it
says,
normally, yeah.
Yeah, so it says never lived. Fire, yes. Help me. Not born. Created I was. Okay?
Okay.
So they say, I just saw you repeated exactly Nrobton. It doesn't make sense to us. The only thing that made sense was devil, and that's kind of scary. Are you trying to say something? Yes. Mirror.
Okay.
And that's when they figure out you got to turn what it's saying backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It plays with them.
I was going to say, what's the point? Like, you just tell them the words. But my first thought, AI, robot.
I'll tell you what, this whole thing bears kind of a striking resemblance to the vertical plane and 2109,
Okay.
what we thought was an AI communication from the future.
Yeah.
Okay, and this kind of feels and looks very similar.
Okay.
To me. Okay, so their next meeting anyway. They just said they stopped talking to him, and it's backwards. So the next meeting was on July the 7th, 2 days later, 2013. And again, it writes, hello there, backwards. And they're like, is this 7? And it says, yes. And hey, hi 7, we're really scared by all of this. And forwards, it writes this time, it says, sorry for scaring you, but you mustn't be. And they said in the transcript, it says, that morning we had noticed some stuff in my bathroom and bedroom had moved slightly. So they asked the question, did you move the perfume bottle? It said yes. And the light face up. And she said, light? What light? And it said, the many-armed light. I'm sorry, 7, we don't know what light you're talking about. We neef. Many-armed lights face up. Oh, my pink lights in my bedroom. You moved those? Yes. And she had noticed that morning that she's got this Medusa light, she calls it. And all the actual lights on it splay outwards, and they'd all been bundled together.
Oh, okay.
And she'd noticed that, but she hadn't really thought anything to do with it until.
Sounds like something cool you'd find at IKEA.
Yeah, sort of like that, like a bendy light sort of thing. She says, you said help me the first time we talked. What do you need our help with? Speak, ear, not. Is that okay? Oh, by the way, yeah, the group, they've color-coded their names to keep privacy. They don't want anybody else knowing what their names are, who's involved.
Okay.
So they've just color-coded it. Is it okay that Purple is not here? And Seven says, no, they are needed. Need. Is it okay that we're here? Yes. Well, Seven, Purple is just really scared. Scared why? I am Seven. And they say they live alone and they don't do well with this kind of stuff. Orange says this is bad. He's bad. At this point, and then Seven comes back with Orange. I am good. So Green begins to laugh. Seven comes back with Green. Stop laughing.
Oh right. Okay. He's serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're like, what are you? Seven. All right. Okay. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry, Seven. That doesn't make sense to us. To us, Seven is just a number between 6 and 8. The planchette moves to 6, then 8, and then 7. And they're like, yeah, right, exactly. And we're talking about squirrels yesterday and how scared they are of us, even though we mean them no harm, but they still run away. And we're like those stupid squirrels, when we're talking to you. And Seven says, stupid.
He's not going the right way to get some help.
He's not. It's not a warm start. No.
No.
So they say, if we decide we didn't want this, that we didn't want you around, would you stop? Would you go away? And it says, do you not want me? Why? Right. And they say, we're scared, Seven. The 4 of us have got a lot going on in our lives and a lot to deal with. And I don't know if we've got room for this kind of stuff. It says, speak, open doors, invite strangers. And they're like, yeah, we did open a door. I'm sorry if we played with something we shouldn't have. We just did this for entertainment. Would you go away if we wanted you to go? I like you, but you want me gone. Sad Seven. I had answers for humanity.
Oh, now he mentions the good bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why us? Timing. Green. Are you going to hurt us? Stupid waste if I can destroy all, Squirrel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Orange...
He's ramping it up quick.
Yeah. Orange says, ask him if he's going to stop moving things in my house. My house, says Seven. I think he means everything is his. Seven, is this sugar yours? Is Green's shirt? Yes. Do we belong to you? Yes. Do you belong to us? Yes. Do you love us? Not that small kind of love. Or not that small love, it says. What do you need help saying? What message can we send to the world? That all must stop or Earth will die. What must stop? Stupid.
Just stop being stupid.
Yeah,
okay.
Stop being stupid. And they say, but lots of things are stupid. No answer. And then, if are, fear, help me, Green, me, timing, open doors. So Green should share you with the world. All should share Green. Invite to share me. And they say, I'm sorry, Seven, we have to go to the beach now. We have plans. Really, Pink? And that was it. Planchette rolls over goodbye, and they're gone. But they come back later.
This is all via Ouija board.
This is via a Ouija board, yeah.
That must have taken so long.
Oh, ages, yeah.
Wow.
And they come back and give it another go. And Seven says, how was the beach? And they say, it was good, yeah. We swam, went fishing, rode on a boat. Yeah, it was fun. Seven says, why no Purple? Purple says, I'm here, I'm just scared. Needn't fear. Fear controls weak. Cut out the fear. And they say, we wrote down some questions to ask you. Is it okay if we ask them? Yes. Okay, do you need the board to talk? It is a tool. Why are you just now moving stuff like the lights and the perfume bottle? Test. A test of what? Our strength? Yes. Do you protect us? No. You are alone. 4, 6, 7. Earth's 7. 8 remain. I am 7. Earths are alive. Where are you? They say. AKK. There were once 4,567 Earths. I am the 7th. All. And they say, is there a God? Says, no. If there is no God, how are we talking to you? There is a power, more than God, but God is good. Please, experiment, fagika. If you have power, why can't you save the Earth? Why do you need us? Ask better, jump, throw down fear. And they're like, it's hard to be strong. Yes. When you say we have to change things for Earth, do you mean global warming and recycling and polar bears? No. Nuclear war? Yes. Oh. Should green go into politics? No. Purple should. Is there a devil? Yes. How can there be a devil if there's no God? In your mind. Do you mean fear? Yes. Should we fear death? Yes. Why? It's boring. But you said you had never been born, meaning you've never died, so how do you know? I know. Where's Atlantis? Near Crete. No Atlantis. Myth. What? But then why did you say it's near Crete? You would believe. You think we're gullible? Fun. But 7, we're kind of out on a limb here, trying to be brave and trying to believe, and we're trusting you to tell us the truth. Sorry.
So how do we know that he's being serious about the nuclear disaster?
That's pretty much exactly what they say, and he says, nothing I can say can be sure. They say, how do we know we should trust you? Trust me. Why did you speak backwards? Test. Do mermaids exist? No. Do dinosaurs exist? No. Do aliens exist? Yes. We should probably ask better questions, huh? Probably.
Okay. So
It
he's
does
got a sense
play,
of humour.
Yeah, it does have a sense of humour. It plays games with them. There are riddles. They talk for a little while at this point, and they probably ask something about history, but they can't remember exactly what it is.
So far, I think he summed it up best when he said "fudgik."
Yeah. Oh, he comes out with some even better ones, yeah.
Oh, right.
But anyway, I'll skip a little bit here, and it says Cleopatra died by a knife. What? I thought she died by an asp, a snake. Myth. So who killed her? Centos. Was Centos just some random dude that history knows nothing about? Yes.
Right, okay.
And then it starts repeating itself. 8 Earths. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're like, what are your relationship with the other Earths? Friends. The next step. And somehow they go from that to, are we going to blow ourselves up? 7 says, probably. Is it okay that purple works at such and such right now? Yes. How long should they stay at such and such? Until fear is dead. All. 45670 remains A, D, 7. 0 remains sad, 7. What should green do? Religion. A new to lead. Green, create. Pink, lead. Purple, allows. Is it good that these are our roles? I think so. Unavoidable. How does pink lead? Through love. What should orange do? Listen. Is this the last time we can speak to you? Yes. Why? I feel like it.
He's got a lot of nerve, this 7.
Yeah. Well, he, she, it, the AI, whatever it is.
They, them, devil, God, Fujika. Yeah.
Mate. And then this is where it starts to feel, like I said earlier about the vertical plane and that. Like, they say, can you give us an equation, a formula to share with the world? And it just says greens. And they say, like, are you the Earth? And it's like, in a way, the experiment must not fail.
Okay.
Now that's what I mean. The experiment must not fail is similar to the 2109 because they said that it was an experiment speaking with the past, if you remember, in vertical plane.
Okay.
How did you know my real name was something? I listen. Can you hear everything we say? Unavoidable. Bloody planes are back. Do you hear? Everything at all times? Yes. That must be so obnoxious. Yes. Oh, that's horrible. No. Yes. She's 7. Are you a girl or a boy? Neither.
Ah, they, them. Or
Okay.
zigzag.
And they ask, was Cleopatra nice? It says a word beginning with W that I'm not going to say.
Wellington.
Insinuating that Cleopatra was maybe a lady of the night.
Wench!
If you like. Well, we know about Cleopatra making certain alliances with other military leaders and stuff, you know.
Ah.
7 is more or less, yeah.
I didn't know that about
confirming
Cleopatra.
Did you not?
So her legs weren't aligned then?
Her legs were not aligned very often, no.
Right, okay. Cleopatra.
And they say, 7, that's not nice. 7 says, fun.
All right.
So they say, what is the meaning of life? To find that, I think you can find few do, many fail. Please do not fail me. Sad 7, save us. Thank you. Farewell. Backwards.
Okay. I don't even know what is happening with this.
All right. So I'm just going to, because we're already running quite further than I thought it would be. But yes, there's several weird things happen. The next time they talk to him, it says awaken backwards. And right after it says that, the alarm clock goes off. And it's not even set.
Okay, that's bizarre.
Okay. They say stuff like, are you able to touch us? Yes. Would you touch me? No. Why? It's unneeded.
Consent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Then, because it was spouting out numbers before, and they go on about, it starts saying that the numbers refer to planets, and they're like, oh, so the planets are infinite and went on and on and on, and only 8 are left? 8. Sad 7, 8 remain. And each one was destroyed by stupid? No. Bad luck for 741. 741 was killed by 741's star. 741 is a planet? Yes, I am 7. 741 was 741. 741's star. The sun killed it? Yes, accident. How do you know we'll die from nuclear power? 8 remain. That was not and they like say something. I'll just skip that a little bit anyway. Yeah, here's another part, right? They go on about something about why not yet, the odds of 8 out of infinity remaining. Why has it taken us so long? Are we good? It says, no, you are late. What, we should have blown ourselves up already? Just on track. Then why are we late? Plague. Now, this hasn't happened yet, but 2020?
Possibly.
The thing, my theory is that this thing is speaking to them from the future. They haven't even got to that point of the future yet. It's just kind of forewarning them, but not, if you know what I mean. And there's a few things. Like I say, anybody that wants to get further into this, there are the videos that you can get to on TikTok. I'm going to step down for a few of these transcriptions and get to the point that I think is really the crux of it. After it says hellos and whatnot. It says hello. They say, does that mean hello? It says hello in like Sumerian or something. And it says, in a way. In what language? Learn. How are you? Well. Do you have a job? No. What do you do when you don't talk to us? Feel. I know you already know what questions I came up with. Yes. So should I ask them? Yes. Why did you say fire yes the first time we spoke? It is coming. Fire yes. Stop it. Even if we stop the nukes, the sun is still going to explode one day. Yes. So isn't the same result as if the nukes go off? No. If the steps are taken, 7 lives like 947632. So 947632 lives despite the explosion. They still fly through the stars. They still fly. Are they still on a planet? No. So what happens to the spirits depends on how the Earth dies. Yes. Along. So does 7 start again? Yes. Does the infinite amount of Earths begin again? No. Where does 7 go when 7 dies? Reborn only through love. Like with babies? No. Do you want to ask us a question? No. He knows everything. Yes. Not my favourite colour, 7. What is my favourite colour? I will leave. Ask better.
Right.
Why will you leave? 5. Oh, is that the last time we can talk to you because it's the 5th time? 5 groups. 3rd contact. What, we're the 3rd group? Yes. So you're in contact with 4 other groups now? No. Contact 1 failed 24,825 days ago. Now, 24,825 days ago from July the 25th, 2013, which is when this conversation took place, was August the 6th, 1945, the day the little boy atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima.
Okay.
That was when Contact 1 failed. Remember that.
Okay.
Contact 2 succeeded 18,534 days ago. And 18,534 days prior to July 25th, 2013 was October 27th, 1962, otherwise known as Black Saturday, the most tense day of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes. JFK.
Which failed to let off a nuclear bomb. Now, when you think about it, Contact 1 says Contact 1 failed when the little boy, when the bomb dropped. Yeah, there was a nuclear explosion. Contact 2 succeeded when no nuclear explosion was taken. Yeah?
Right.
And it says, what about Contact 3? You. Oh, sorry, yeah. And then 7 says, historically, Contact 3 fails 29,149 days after Contact 1, which is May the 27th, 2025. This is 4,324 days in your future. Again, same date. May the 27th, 2025. It even actually writes it out for them. All, SaveSe7en, and 7. Ninhursag 7. Ninhursag is the ancient Sumerian mountain mother goddess. And it just, goes through all that. And then it says, fear not.
So they are kind of like a god. Even though they said they weren't God, they kind of are.
Yeah. It then takes them through like what it wants them to do. It says you have to take the right step. Just to summarise this a little bit, because we're already over half an hour now. It gives them tasks that they're like. I think green has got to go swim, and it keeps saying swim. You must swim. Keeps saying dogsy doog. God is good backwards. And they say, are we the worst culture that's ever lived? It says no. And they say, who was the worst? And it says, not the right alphabet. Grungve. Apparently Grungve was the worst culture that ever lived. But yeah, it gives them these steps that they've got to take. And it says, they're like, oh, why have we got to do these jobs? And it's like small steps, but for a bigger picture.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as things go on, it gets more and more cryptic. They say, they're saying you can be scary sometimes. and this is really serious. It says, yes, fun, ask better questions. And they're like, I just want to have some fun. And 7 says, squirrels just want to have fun. If out upon me, never felt a lash of anger, nor repute, a wall of water made extend, a man who faceless is a friend, a martyr maid, a damsel dear, a rig a moor, a dainty deer, a fine rotunda marks a few, a lovely lady bids adieu. A sprightly courtyard fends the way, a knightly courtier meets the day. Fun, V is you, repute. And then carries on with more and more poetry and stuff like this. And eventually they just to try and wrap this up a little bit, they end up like not really talking. It doesn't want them to talk to it so often. It keeps saying come back in a year, 365, 365, 365.25, 365.25,
Okay.
come back next year, and stuff like that. And saying go swim, swim, swim. You miss the obvious, swim. Green is prepping, slow but correct. Don't overthink it for once. Once you start, you shall trounce them all. Swim, so swim, swim, lazy swim. You know, it's kind of like trying to nurture them in the right direction. And then obviously,
very cryptic.
Yeah, I'm going to literally skip pretty much all of the rest of it because a lot of it's gobbledygook. But they carried on the bit by bit up to sort of 2018. There's one there. They got back to it again in March 2020, and it just said swim goodbye. 2022, it said silence a virtue to bring me alone to the dance, violence all issue to get verses to war without chance. But it's like they're trying to they come to it at one point and they're saying, oh, you know, can we get better jobs or something like that? And it's like this unnecessary evil.
Yeah.
You know. And they're like, oh, but you know, we want to have fun sometimes, and it's like you could spend your time better learn to live, learn to save 7, all this sort of thing. And then eventually, obviously, she puts out this video, and everybody said, well, when was the last time you got into contact with 7? Have you tried again since? So on February the 5th, 2025, they did make contact again this year. And she said, we tell 7 about my first of, the 24th of the first video. 24th of January was the day the first video came out, going viral on TikTok. She says, I'm sure 7 already knew, and asked if he has a message for all of my new followers. He says 110, and that's the amount of days left until the 27th of May.
Okay.
Find your glory. So often we find fear within our hearts, the tomb of counting daily down the clock. To find your glory, all shall play their part. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Share 7.
Share 7.
Share 7.
With TikTok.
Is its last message that it's ever given. Now, going back to these things, I think its message is fairly clear. I mean, although the steps that it said that they've got to take is not clear, the fact that it pointed out, and here it is highlighted, pointed out contact 1 failed and a nuclear bomb dropped. Contact 2 succeeded and a nuclear bomb didn't drop. Now it says historically contact 3 fails on the 27th of May 2025, implying a bomb is going to drop. A failure means a bomb is going to drop.
Yes.
And it wants help to save everything, to stop that bomb from dropping. It never says that this is an absolutely certain outcome, and what it's trying to do is stop that outcome.
Yeah.
And the idea that sharing 7, putting the message out there, hopefully it will divert a bomb from going off.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. Where do you start?
You can start by going to TikTok watching the videos, watching the complete explanation of her transcript. You can find them on Reddit. There's a group that are on Reddit trying to decipher what's going on throughout these transcripts, trying to find small clues about what we can do to help the cause, help Seven's cause. Because, I mean, this is the thing. How does such a small group of people stop a nuclear bomb from going off, or, you know, stop intercontinental wars? And at the end of the day, like, I mean, this all started in 2013. How would they have known back then about the state of the country and the state of the world in 2025, early 2025, back then? And again, some of the other predictions episodes that I've made, the Cliff High episode where he said, oh, it's going to start off with drones and aerial combat in the sky. It's going to devolve into a melee. Look at the state of the political world at the moment. Would you not describe that as a melee? It's pretty much turning into a free-for-all.
Yeah, things are ramping up. There's a general feeling, isn't there, of something doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, I'd say most people would agree that we're on the verge of World War III at this point. And I think that things like this, little messages like this, whether it comes from the future, whether it comes from another dimension, well, I don't know where it comes from, but it's a word of warning, and it's been there from years in the past. If you believe Cassiopeia, she goes by, if you believe her story, and you believe that it's a genuine account from all those years ago, then this has been in the works for a long time. Is there any avoiding it, or is stuff like this putting it out there to the general public, raising people's awareness about the situation that we're in at the moment? Will that tip the balance? Will we manage to save ourselves like we did in the Cuban Missile Crisis? Or is it historically going to fail?
It's a tough one, because we got told that the world was going to end in 2012.
Yeah.
And it didn't. There was another one, wasn't there? Was it 2021? Or
there's almost several every year, isn't there?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When I missed it out, but they're contact 3 out of 5, apparently, from in that transcript. When contact 3 fails on the 27th of May, Seven then makes contact with number 4, and there is a number 4 and a number 5. So it doesn't insinuate that it's going to be the end of the world, because then there wouldn't be another contact afterwards, would there? It just means that there is going to be some kind of disaster, since contact 3 fails historically. 1 failed, 2 succeeded, 3 fails. He doesn't mention what happens with 4 and 5, but at least we can take some solace in that it's not the end of humanity or the end of the world on the 27th, which is kind of I kind of feel glad about that, because my best mate back in Ludlow, my hometown, his birthday was the 28th of May.
Yeah, and you want him to have a birthday?
Yeah, I would like him to have a birthday.
Yeah. I kind of wish it wasn't through Ouija board.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was a bit more like vertical plane.
Oh, through Aleem's Boist.
Yeah. Yeah, a box with lights. Yeah, because we did an episode on Ouija boards, and I've also seen a documentary on Ouija boards.
We didn't rate them favourably, did we? If I remember right.
No, it's especially the documentary that I saw about Ouija boards. They didn't have any concrete evidence that it worked, but then you hear stories of people using Ouija boards and it working. So, is it one of those things where you have to be open-minded to use a Ouija board?
For someone, or at least one person in that group, to think this up and to enact it out live on a Ouija board, spell everything out the way they have. I mean, there are spelling mistakes, don't get me wrong. She points out spelling mistakes, or what she thinks are spelling mistakes sometimes, are actually it's spelled in proper English, not American English. Things like that happen. I don't know how I feel about it. The thing is, we could rate this really low and go, no, don't believe it, I think it's a hoax. And then if a nuclear bomb drops on May the 27th, our face is going to be red. And yet if we
That's
say...
not the radiation.
And if we say... Yeah, no, it's not. We say, oh, we believe it 100% and give it 9.5, and then nothing happens on May the 27th. Again, our faces are going to be red. So how do we rate this? How do we believe it? Do we believe this? Do you believe this? She doesn't profess to know what's going to happen, but evidence points. You know, when you follow that simple thing of contact 1 failed, Hiroshima gone, contact 2 succeeded, Cuban Missile Crisis didn't come to much, contact 3 fails, May 27th, 2025. What will happen?
I'm going to go on a bold statement and say, no, I don't believe it. Because when we look back on the what was it, the 2K bug. Do you remember
the Y2K?
Yeah. When we look back on that, we all think, oh, what a bunch of idiots. Of course the clock's just rolled round to 2000. Like, a lot of people thought the world was going to end.
I think there was a lot of bug fixes that programmers had to write into certain things like aeroplanes and stuff to stop them from falling out of the sky, though.
But we look back on it and we're like, what a bunch of idiots.
Well, I would suggest...
Same with 2012.
I want to go... To be honest, I'm actually going to go straight down the middle on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5 because I don't want to lean either way. Now, again, going back to some of the other things, the prediction episodes that I've come up with recently over the last few months, like with the web bot and the drones and that sort of thing, saying that you know, it didn't say specifically that aerial battles will devolve into a melee. It just said it will start with, was it visible contention that will devolve into melee. It didn't say necessarily that it was going to be a battle between aliens and humans. It might be a battle between humans and humans. And that sort of stuff is happening in the world right now. He did say it might take months, it might take years. Again, what was his name? Billy Meyer. He said things, you know, political changes were coming about, that the world order was completely going to change. That's happening. This is a prediction of a different kind. It doesn't say exactly what's going to happen, but it does say that it's going to fail. So I'm going to go straight down the line on it because I kind of see links to it to other previous episodes that we've done. I don't want to believe it because I don't want to believe that we're that close to a nuclear missile being launched. If it does get launched, I then hope that the non-human intelligence gets involved and takes it out of the sky before it manages to kill any of us. Or something like that. Then perhaps the melee will start, full-on melee. Who knows, but...
Well...
It's a scary prediction.
It is a scary prediction, but I just don't know. Because I feel like predictions and things... Have we actually seen, in the time that we've done this podcast, has anyone actually been completely 100% spot on with predictions? Or has it always been kind of 50-50?
Well, when we did the Mystic Mega episode, I pointed out many people that were pretty much spot on with predictions. But that's the thing, this one doesn't necessarily... She doesn't claim that it's a prediction of hers, but the written transcript from what the 7 was saying, well, that's what it says, and it points to May the 27th.
And the bit at the very start threw me off. When you said it's like not born, hasn't lived,
was created.
Yeah, like that bit doesn't really make sense to me, because it could be AI, but then
how would AI
communicate
via a Ouija board? It
Well,
is an interesting one.
I'm going to do the good old-fashioned British thing and bury my head in the ground and pretend that it's all going to blow over.
Let's all go down to Winchester and wait for this to blow over.
Nothing's going to happen. And it's all going to be fine. Because even if something does happen, it's completely out of our control.
It is.
there are some very greedy people in the world that have power that we can't do anything about. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I agree with you going down the middle, but you know me, I am slightly more skeptical about it. So I'm quite happy to have a little bit of sunburn, a little bit of red on my face.
Right.
When it doesn't happen, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going 5 straight down the middle. I want to believe it, but I also want to not believe it because the implications of it are kind of scary. But we shall see. We shall see who's got red sunburned faces and who hasn't.
I mean, it's good though that you've covered it because it's a bit more update, isn't it? It's a bit more modern.
That's why I wanted to cover it right now so we can get the episode out before May the 27th.
Yeah.
Because obviously after May the 27th, it wouldn't even be a question, would it? Because it's either happened or it hasn't.
I've also just thought my holiday is a few weeks after that.
Will you even have a holiday?
That's the thing.
I haven't booked a holiday yet. I don't know if it's worth it now.
So I'm actually going to say it's a load of rubbish.
You might be 500 quid out of pocket, mate.
Oh, I hope not. A bit more than that. So. No, actually, you've just reminded me. There was another prediction that the world was going to end because I remember saying to you a couple of years ago about my honeymoon. And I remember saying, I hope that doesn't happen because then I won't be able to go on my honeymoon. Or it happened.
Was that on the podcast?
Yeah, it was something around that. I'm sure of it.
I think there was something. I can't remember what it was now, though.
Yeah, and then I had the best time on my honeymoon.
Well, good. I hope you still have a good holiday.
Yeah,
it's just there might be an area of the world that's kind of intense radiation, so stay away from that part.
Okay.
Let's hope it's not. Where
Turkey.
was it? Turkey area.
Yeah, don't be Turkey.
Well, let us know what you think. Do you? And in fairness, like I think, even though I'm going 5 straight down the middle, I just still want to say share 7. You know, get with the cause. Even if it is a hoax, it doesn't hurt. Let's share 7. Share the love. Try and spread goodwill and hope that we come through these next few months without any kind of nuclear strike. That is the best that I can hope for. That would be the best outcome for this.
Yeah. Do you think we should just avoid nuclear things going forward as society?
Yes, I think we should. Obviously.
Fossil fuels and nuclear stuff.
Just nuclear stuff is brilliant for creating electricity and energy for the planet. Although I'm sure there's better ways, you know. But not good for like arms and combat. Although arms and combat, it's a dated concept. Just everybody just get along.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
World peace and love.
World peace. Yeah. Why America wants Greenland for defense purposes? Why? No one's got the guns to take them on anyway. So why do they need extra defense? Grow up, man.
Yeah. It's just stupid, isn't it?
And until next week, before I end up going on a rant. I've been Pirate.
I'm Josh.
This has been Paranormality UK. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Bye, 7.